Oh, the places you'll go. Wherever you fly, you'll be best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't. Because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you.
4 students have been in their career hang-ups and bumps when they lost their jobs, but they have decided to go back to school hoping to unslump themselves as they acquire more work skills needed to find another job. The teacher partnered with her students to make their stories happen by teaching them how to explore and research occupational information and get the skills required for job searching. In this 12-week course, we focus one topic, particularly the interviewing strategies, to illustrate an integrated learning framework called Cognitive Apprenticeship. To complete this course, the students completed a mock job interview with an actual human resources representative from a local staffing company. This course has been revised to give more real-world opportunities to students. Every student has to call the human resources representative to make an appointment for the mock job interview, which will take place at the interviewer's office. The interview questions are based on the job position the student desires to pursue. Before they took this course, these students have been going to real job interviews. Unfortunately, they did not receive any requests for a second interview. It will be very helpful during this course for these students to get feedback from a professional interviewer from the real job world. Now the students can identify what works in the real world and what needs to be fine-tuned. The use of cognitive apprenticeship was an effective instructional paradigm for this learning environment. To further understand this framework, let us consider the following 4 dimensions that constitute any learning environment: content, method, sequence, and sociology. The teacher reinforced the domain knowledge as the students learned proper business letter format, word usage, and grammar when they drafted and finalized the resume and cover letter which was needed to bring for the interview. Also, as they rehearsed their answers to the interview question in class, they learned the proper tone and correct grammar. The class first went through frequently asked interview questions. Each of the students came up with their answers and shared them with the class, but the teacher eventually provided them with preferred career-geared answers to all the questions.
I'm really bad about it, and it's just because I don't prepare ahead of time. It's if you, I don't want to say memorize answers, but like you said, if you have the questions, they're probably going to ask you. So,
and that's it. I'm not saying your responses should be canned, but boy, if you have a good idea what you're going to say.
These answers are generally effective in interview situations and regarded as tricks of the trade. The class explored a learning strategy to further their interviewing strategies. The teacher used True Colors, a personality assessment tool, to help students understand their strengths, motivation, needs, and skills.
Would it be best to make up something phony? Oh, I loved it because, I love getting up in the morning and coming in and
I love the traffic.
Number one, never be dishonest.
No,
Never be dishonest.
they don't want you to lie about what they're going to see. Your attitude, on how you can turn things around with your attitude. So it could be the worst job in the whole world, but he can see a better picture out of it. You can still turn something negative to positive, because there's always stress level in any job. Now they're checking your attitude and how to handle stress.
Realizing these personal attributes would help support in developing and communicating their answers when describing their character and attitude. Through modeling, coaching, and scaffolding, the teacher was able to set example of demonstrating professionalism in class in terms of being on time for class. She was dressed appropriately for a professional workplace and was always prepared and thorough with her materials.
Jason, what did you like best about your last job? And you sit there and you go, nothing.
I really can't think of anything. Once upon a time, I guess there probably was, but you do something for so long, it was just repetitive all the time. Same thing. Once you master it and you find every niche there is and the fastest way to do it. I did machining for a while. I did then I did the shipping and receiving aspect of it, and it just gets old really quick.
Okay, well, if it's something that you didn't enjoy on the job, what about the people you work with? Can you say anything good about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the people
Good.
that I work
Then
with.
go in that direction. What'd you like best about your previous job?
Yeah, probably the people I work with.
And why? Because they'll always follow up. Remember, examples,
Why?
examples, examples.
Oh.
Positive, positive, positive.
Got me there. Every one of them told everybody when I would come to work. I mean, that was my greatest influence for leaving there and going on to further education.
She coached her students in learning important interviewing strategies through spending much practice time working on different case situations. After the students have gained a set of skills through modeling, coaching, and guided practice, the teacher eventually was out of the picture in the learning experience when the students had to go by themselves to the interviewer's location to have the mock interview. The students were engaged in the articulation and reflection teaching strategies when they assumed the critic role in classroom activities and thereby led themselves to formulate and articulate ideas with one another. Students were able to compare and reflect their thoughts and experiences about how to answer the toughest interview questions and how to ask great follow-up questions during an interview.
And when we talked about interviewing, we talk about practice, 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 because the more we practice, the better the answers we're going to get. It's got to be answers from our heart. It's got to be answers from what we had worked on before in our jobs.
Students have been encouraged to carry out and formulate their own interviewing strategies when the teacher gave them a task to set up a schedule with the interviewer for a mock-up interview. This is an exploration teaching strategy that helped them initiate learner autonomy. In order for the students to be able to have a successful interviewing experience with an interviewer from the real world, they have to learn the concept of what an interview is all about. The teacher was able to break down the big concept of job interviewing into smaller topics and sessions based on the process of interviewing. The tasks involved in the class required an increase in complexity and diversity as the students had to perform projects needed to support the job interviewing process. Examples of the projects were learning how to create career goals, understanding methods of job searching, preparing error-free employment documents such as resume, cover letter, and list of references, using Truecaller's results for communication process, participating in job shadowing or volunteer opportunities, and understanding the importance of networking and social media for self-branding. The final dimension in our framework concerns the sociology of the learning environment. There was nothing more beneficial to understanding the craft of job interviewing than being immersed in an environment where the interviewer is situated in the real job market. Students are expected from the beginning to engage in tasks that contribute directly to career success. As a result, the students learn skills in the context of their application to realistic problems within a culture focused on and defined by expert practice. Through situated learning, the students proceeded by carrying out classroom activities in which their knowledge and skills were used in actual job searching. They came to understand the purposes of the lessons being taught. Through community of practice and intrinsic motivation, a learning environment has been created for students in LinkedIn, which the students can actively communicate about and engage in their skills and experiences. Creation of LinkedIn accounts cannot be forced, but the students were encouraged to have one to help them share common projects and experiences. Eventually, students become intrinsically motivated as they relate and share common career goals and interests with people in their network. Through exploiting cooperation, students work together to foster cooperative problem solving.
It overwhelmed me at first.
So you look at a personality such as yours, who is very detailed, always thinking that everything's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
Understand that the more you interview, like I mentioned before, the more confident you will be about yourself. The more you do, the more. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time where you're going to pair up and just ask each other your questions that you had to prepare for. Then toward the end of class, what we will do is kind of give you a panel interview, which will be a little bit more of a, because we will all be interviewing each one. If anything's going to be a little nerve-wracking, it might be that, but yet you know each other, so that's kind of nice as well. We're going to be there for each one of you to go through that.
In conclusion, cognitive apprenticeship is a relevant model for this course.
From now on, we're going to go out there in the community and start interviewing.
And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Buxbaum, or Bixby, or Bray, or Mordecai Ali Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way.